Today we have
Larry,
Richard,
Linnel
Cleon.
and Cleon. You all kind of started going out at the Onyx Room
I did.
Yeah.
before the Zebra.
the
Yeah.
Onyx Room.
Onyx.
But I would like to say that, like, it was the start of the disco phase. And everything before house music, disco was our life.
Yes.
And everything was so carefree once you walked through the door. It was like going into a different world. Because growing up gay in St. Louis back and during that time was very difficult. You kind of had to keep a secret for the most part. And then when you got there, you just felt free.
Especially the gathering together. It couldn't be a whole bunch of y'all. See,
You talking about outside?
it was the gathering together part. So like, we were fine when we were by ourselves.
Yeah.
It would be though when it was a group of us.
We were
'Cause then you
family.
were, right,
Okay.
you would start to blossom and everything else. Yeah, because when you first started out, you were shy. You didn't necessarily
Right.
know.
And then certain people just pull you under their wing
Right.
and give you guidance.
Once you had a guardian angel, you were fine. You soared.
So now you say that it was disco music.
I would say it was the beginning of disco.
Right.
Okay.
It
I
was.
say
It really, actually, it predated this.
Disco.
It really did.
The Onyx Room.
Yes, this was before this.
So
But-
it was more freestyle dance.
It wasn't long before it, but it was before this.
But it's where you
But
can
it
go
was
and
the
be
same-
free and be
right.
happy.
And the key thing was how good the music was.
Oh my God.
The music had to be, because you were gonna dance.
I remember this one dance they called the tightrope.
Yeah.
I thought I had gone to New York or something to see these people that I see all the day with babies out there coordinated and dancing it to the T.
Right.
It was perfect.
What was it called?
It was called the tightrope.
And when the one called the hustle, when everybody
The
was grouped
hustle.
together, we
The hustle was going into disco.
And that was going to disco. Okay.
So now what I want to ask you now, so like, because most gay bars, they do have like a cruising, it's like a cruise area. So was it more like on the outside, like, or I would say going in? Did you have a lot of,
No.
so it was like a
No.
quiet
Well,
bar?
no, but hold on a second.
That
That
was
whole
like
area
something I
around
just
there.
love
That
Waco.
whole area
The
around
grand
there.
area.
Even in the
All the
Onyx
way
there.
up to
Come on, yes.
all the way up
Because
to
you know that
Yeah.
burger club right
Oh,
on the
no.
other side of the barber
You didn't
shop.
have to just do
Or the
it
burger
at the
shop
bar
that was
or,
down there.
or in the
It
block
was
by
called
the
a
bar.
Palomino or
You
something.
were cruising
What was the
all
donut
around.
shop? What was the donut shop? Remember the
Clean
donut
up.
shop?
The
That was
donut
in
shop
Taylor
was,
now.
Yeah, well,
Right.
the cruising area went from,
sure it
Oh,
it went from the Onyx Room all the way up to
Yes,
Taylor.
Taylor.
yes,
Exactly. Yeah.
So let's talk
We had a
about,
whole strip.
yes, the whole strip, the whole area.
oh
the
wow.
whole area.
So
And that's
that's,
when men were men, honey.
Oh, jeez.
what do you mean by that? What do you mean by that?
You didn't have to play these little games with these little motherfuckers. They knew what they wanted to do with their dick, honey, and you took it, honey.
Okay,
Okay.
all right. So now let's talk about,
Oh, I
like,
should have said that.
Yes.
no, it is what it is.
Tramp.
And like you said, we knew something was going on at the house before we got to the theater. There was a lot of sex going on.
So let's talk about it. So,
I was sheltered from it.
No, you weren't.
oh,
I didn't know about that afterwards.
No, you weren't. You just had blossom.
Okay.
But you were naive.
so because
No,
like
okay.
I do know like, so because I know about the cruising, men are very, this is what we do.
That's what we did.
And actually, I think, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Sometimes somebody, so when you would be cruising and you would catch somebody's eye,
Right.
they'd be watching. And so if you parked and went into the Onyx Room, they came into the Onyx Room.
And
If
see,
they really wanted to
I
talk
didn't
to
know
you.
about that cruising stuff until I met Tyrone.
Right.
There was this big guy named Tyrone. I won't say his last name, but that was his way of living. He find homosexuals to take care of him, and he
Okay.
walked the streets. But he was a good-looking man.
And he took care of himself.
and took very good care of himself. Well, don't let that be mistaken by having to take care of a man, because I've never had to do that, and I won't start.
Okay. Well, you know, tricks, and then there are treats. So,
Well,
Wait a minute now. I'm not gonna bring myself to that level, because I don't have to stoop to it.
well, that's going to be something that we'll talk about.
We're lowering people, or we're above others.
When it comes to that, yes, honey, because I work for my money, and my money's gonna stay with me.
Well, that's what they're doing too. They're working for their money.
They can get it from somebody else.
Okay, but we'll talk about that when we talk to Linnel. So now remember back in the day also.
Hold on.
Because Cleon and I had this conversation 2 hours ago. A trick is a trick. So how you got it?
That's right.
But
How you trick?
But wait a minute, that's what you do, that's what you do.
That's a whole
But
nother
I'm
story.
saying I don't do.
So now, did you all ever
Well,
go?
hold on a
I mean,
second.
what about the days
It
of?
depends on somebody's interpretation of trick.
Oh, honey, just because I get down on my knees, that might be tricky for me. But my money
Lord
stays
Jesus.
in my pocket.
Girl, you know that you on camera.
They can see my face.
We know who you are.
Look,
Did she say
We
that?
already said who we were. And we stand up.
Baby, Miss Steve didn't say nothing, no.
Like I said, can you pick up? Was it
So,
easy?
Craig, you have to remember.
Very
We was awful
So,
young.
no,
Wait a minute, we
let's
was,
get back to that. So, when we were coming along, there really wasn't no DL.
Right. It was just
Right.
trade.
Come on.
It was
They
You
were
trade.
just trade.
that's
Right.
right.
So
right.
there was no DL down low or none of that.
But they were about
Because it was
sex.
And
fair
trade
game.
was not
It
ashamed
right.
of what
It
they
was
did.
fair game.
They come up and ask,
Right.
what's
It was
going
fair
on,
game.
baby?
Okay, so they were a little bit more.
And
They were a little bit more.
trade and none of that.
They was a
None
little
of
bit
that.
more forward
They
with
were
their
a lot
life and
more
with their lifestyle and stuff like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, they
That
were.
prevalent today.
So now let's
Real
travel.
times.
Let's travel a little bit west, like Forest Park. Now, you know, I used to go out there in the evenings sometime and hang out and kick, you know, because that's where we would hang out. You know, you could definitely go there, and it was a good place for us to go out and hang out without definitely being on the streets doing things, you know. So, but I knew about the other part of the park, the woods.
The woods.
Yes, because you know that was kind of little.
That was like
So
everybody
it's
for
a
everyone.
difference. It's a difference. I'm gonna explain this.
Come on, Rich.
So if you cruise the park, that automatically said what you want.
Right.
Not necessarily.
Well, no, pretty much, Cleon. It was
No.
pretty much understood.
I cruised the park.
Right.
I went to the park.
But just automatic cruising, it did automatically imply that you were interested, but just not. You weren't
You weren't interested in a relationship.
Right.
You just wanted to hook up.
right.
With most people that do cruising, that's all they want to do. Isn't it? It's just have it for the moment. That's
And now we got our phones to do
okay,
it.
right,
Cruising.
right. We say you can do it on the phone nowadays. That's the new way of doing it. Uh-oh.
So,
No, let's not leave out the bookstores and the peep show.
right.
Come on
And that's
now.
it.
And the
Okay.
glory hole.
We bring it up. That's what we're here for.
Because you had bathhouses, you had everything. So see, this is the whole difference with that whole, which was the preferable one. That was the most convenient and certainly discreet.
Right.
So you saying the bathhouse or the bathhouse or the bookstore?
The bookstore was most private.
Private.
Because all you had to do was put your hand through, let them stick their dick through or whatever. It's
Oh,
done
my-
deal.
oh my
Bam,
God.
bam, boom.
And there was no, you
He
didn't
had a
have to see the
theater
face.
too. We had a theater downtown.
They sure did.
Right.
They had more
And
than
you
one.
go to, you go to.
They had more than
Well, I knew
one
about
there.
one. I knew about one.
They
I know
had
about
Then you
more
could go
than-
downstairs and go to the bathroom and trick down there.
or Famous's bathroom.
Famous boy.
I remember that bathroom.
Which
when I
is
was
Macy's
16.
Well, absolutely.
Right, and I worked right by that bathroom. I used to hate watching people do that.
Actually,
Why? Because you couldn't go in
Wasn't that a bathroom? That's a bathroom on the second floor.
by the elevator.
Well, I used to work in the men's suit department.
Mhm.
I was working on commission, and child, it was funny really to watch.
Really, just watching all the men go in and out.
Especially
Nice.
white men.
So that you're leading right to where I want to go.
'cause
With,
it was
I mean,
more
I
than-
love that.
The
So
bookstores were something more than
the bookstores are what?
more something that white people did.
More of a white
See, we
hangout.
didn't have to go to a bookstore. It was like right in front of us. We didn't necessarily have to go looking for it.
Right.
It kind of came to us. Like if we were cruising, it was just something for us to do. We were
We
on our
stand
way.
there.
Cause
On the way,
It literally came up to
Everywhere.
us.
for
Getting
some
off
strange
work.
reason, men knew what could happen if they talked to me. They knew what could happen.
They knew what they wanted.
Yeah.
So you're trying to say that you were like you felt like you were on the DL and they just automatically
You
just
know
felt
what?
like
It's not that
Yeah.
I've always been me. I can't be nobody.
So that's what I'm saying, Craig. We didn't really understand what down low meant.
They didn't have that.
Because no one really talked about that part. No one even really talked about how you really were. Because it was hush hush. And most times you were told that you're supposed to keep private business private.
because like today it's like
You were
everything's just
supposed
out
to
there.
keep private business private. And as long as it was private, nobody
These
had
little
to
kids nowadays don't know shit about discretion. Nothing.
Okay, so
I
now
love
you
y'all.
did mention something about when you started talking about white men.
I got started with white men.
So okay.
Mhm, so it's different for Cleveland.
So now, how did that work? How did that happen back in those days? Because I know it was almost kind of like a taboo.
Well, I didn't get started until I came out of college, when I was in college. And we had a class, and we had a class. It was a psychology class. And they were talking about parts and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't realize that we had it in St. Louis because I had never hadn't done that.
Well, you
And
figured it out.
yeah, because my first experience was with a guy on spring break. They came through St. Louis and they stayed at our house. And yeah.
So because
Very convenient.
so one of the things that I was saying is like it was like a taboo and still is kind of sort.
Well, look, can I tell y'all this one pickup line that got me? It floored me silly. I had went to look at this man's car, and so he was taking down my name. He said, "Is it Miss or Mrs. Baker?"
On the phone.
No, I was sitting in front of him.
Okay.
Well, that face so fishy,
Baby,
huh?
I said, "It's Miss." And the next thing you know, his number was coming across to me.
Mm-hmm.
I had never been asked nothing like that before in my life.
So now, did you all back in the day, in the days of us coming out, because you all have, I think you all have just a couple more years before me.
Probably a couple.
I said just a couple. I didn't say 10. I just said I kept it nice.
You know, in the park, getting back to the park, they used to dance and block the street.
Yes, we did. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yes. And they started
you
with
part of that.
they started with the Madison, which is the what is it now called?
The
It was
hustle.
the Madison.
You talking about the
Chicago
stepping?
Oh, Chicago.
Yeah, you talking about the
Yeah.
hustle.
And what
What
do they call it now?
We just call it the old hustle.
No.
Are you talking about the electric slide?
Yeah, the electric slide is nothing but the same
Because it was
thing.
called the bus stop
Yeah.
and then
Oh,
the
yeah,
electric
yeah.
slide.
It's really the same old dance that they did.
Well, St. Louis was known
We
for
were doing
that.
that
Now,
for
that
the
is one
artists.
thing. St. Louis was definitely known to have a lot of hustle. Well, we called it hustles when we started coming out. But line dance, which is called
Yeah,
line
the-
dance.
and this man gonna get on television and say he invented it. this Achy Breaky or whatever his name.
Oh.
He gonna invent that he did this.
The live dance, the country.
Yeah.
He did the country live.
Yeah.
Miley Cyrus. did
Yeah,
it.
he gonna come out and
Billy
say
Ray
he did
Cyrus.
that, and they did that 50 years ago,
Yeah.
before he even started. They were
Yeah,
in
we
the
was
park.
doing the hustle.
Even the house styles, like you look at Pepper LaBeija, all of those kids up in New York that did the voguing for Madonna.
Right.
That was all
Before
Willie Ninja. That was the House of Ninja, honey.
What was it more so like back in those days?
So the
like,
difference is, like when we went, the Onyx Room wasn't, it was mixed, but it was mostly black.
It was mostly black.
It was
No,
mostly
it was
black.
mostly black, cause Richard was the owner.
And the white guy.
Yeah,
was
the
white
on it,
guy,
but
Richard,
the
owned it.
white folks did not.
So
But-
hold on a
That's when I-
second, dependent, let me be real. When I was little, before I got to go, it was white men going in that bar.
The white man went in.
Yes, it
But
was
the
white
boys
men.
down
That's
behind
that's
the
how I
library.
knew
You
that
were
it,
right.
and that's
The
how
white
I
boys
realized it was a
behind the
gay
library.
place.
okay.
But no, Richard, that was that other little place right
No,
down the
it
street.
still
from
was-
it was
no,
all
it was-
white.
It was
Right,
all white.
and so
What
was
was
the
that?
Onyx, both of them.
What was
Yeah,
that?
It was
oh, they would
another
come up
one.
every
It
once
was
in a while,
another one.
Come in Onyx. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, but the bar was down there by the library.
Oh, it wasn't that far now.
No,
No,
it
But it
was,
was very segregated.
That's the bar that I went
Very
to
safe.
because it was white.
That's how your experience first was. Right?
Yeah.
Right.
It was the bar.
So how did you start going to the Onyx?
Uh-huh.
How did you start going to the Onyx? From that
One
point?
day I happened to be driving down Olive and I knew what it was.
you knew what it was. You
I knew
wouldn't
what
miss
it was. The boys were standing on the corner. They standing on the, before you get to the Onyx Room, right in the middle of the street.
You know, it's because that damn barbershop was next door to
Because
it.
The
there
bar.
House
was
of
a whole
Afro.
bunch of things.
Right.
It was.
And a
And
lot,
there
that's
was
a
a
lot of
clothing
trade was
store.
there already.
That was being
And the gay bar right now.
Right, and that
Next
burger
door.
shack.
And
Burger Shack.
then Woolworth was on
That was
the
the number
corner.
one barbershop in the city.
Yes, it was. It was.
It was the number one barbershop.
So now, did a lot of guys trickle into the?
I
into the-
believe so. Afterwards, I believe
yeah.
so.
So now, was it
I
a
believe
stigma
so.
of coming, being seen coming out of the
They
Onyx
would be on the
Room?
parking lot.
Well,
lot of
before I
people-
came
a lot of
out,
people be on
I
the
used to run
parking
from
lot.
the parking lot into the front door.
Cause I'm like a party in the parking
Because
lot.
I was underage, first of all. And then I didn't want nobody to see me.
Wait a minute,
You-
in the first Onyx Room, it wasn't a parking lot close.
It was across the
Across the
street.
street at the Burger Chef.
Right.
Yeah.
That's the Burger Chef lock
You
in
gotta go
parking
around
lot.
the corner
Across
there,
the street.
try to, through the alley, get to
Your
the Burger
best
King.
bet was to park right in front of it on the street. and
Well,
walk
we
in
used to
there.
park right across the street on that
Right.
parking lot, and then come across the street.
Wow.
But like, they be out there fighting and cussing. I'd be all over some
But you would just do like what we said. We just get out our car and go in.
Yeah.
We would ignore anything that was going
Right.
on.
That's
The
right.
parking lot.
We would. We make our move.
Now I made a mini trip up and down Olive because I didn't want to go in the lounge because I didn't want to be caught by my brother
Oh, and why not?
because my family didn't know. They
Okay.
might have had their suspicions, but they didn't know.
All right.
And my brother was like you. He didn't care. He didn't care.
Right.
He didn't care.
Oh,
He
give
was-
it to
Now,
me.
you
Huh?
may
No,
have
but I mean-
seen his brother.
See, he might have run into his brother there at the Onyx Room.
Okay.
Because
Got
you remember this tall, thin guy used to wear the purse and dance by
Which
himself a
one?
lot?
Which one?
I don't remember his name. But that was the guy that was with Cleon's brother.
Okay.
Oh,
Well,
So
probably was.
so now let's move on down to the zebra. So now when the zebra, so now what was the difference in the atmosphere between the Onyx Room and the zebra?
Oh, wait a minute.
Was a
totally.
You
younger
said
crowd.
that, wait.
Totally.
Wait.
There were
So,
children.
wait a minute. No.
The children got to go in there.
Right. But
Shit, we was children going to the honest room.
Yeah, we
though.
were children going to the honest room, but the children,
Yeah, but the more children came to the
flooded
zebra line.
By the
zebra
time the
line.
honest
And
room
we talking
closed,
about
y'all,
16,
we were
17
grown.
years
Yeah,
old.
Right,
we
right.
talking about
We were
16.
grown.
Yes.
At 16, 17.
These are children. They were
Yeah.
like 13, 14, 15
This
years
is
old.
They
when
weren't
you
that
start
young.
coming out, Craig.
Me.
Yeah. No, it
Yeah.
But wait a
was.
minute.
I was 17.
He was
Okay,
17.
so, but Richard,
At honest.
no, but didn't he, how was he affiliated with?
Him and his boyfriend.
That's right.
On the honest room, then they just rolled down
They
the street.
changed it and they turned it into the zebra line. That's how it
We
went.
had to move.
Yeah,
But
They
they
had
had
to
so-
move
but
and
they
they
had
moved
to
into a
move.
bigger
They
place.
had to
And then that
It
changed
was
the
even lighter,
clientele.
and then it became
And the energy,
zebra
so-
line.
And they changed it. It changed from the onyx room to the
zebra
zebra
line.
line.
Right, but so what I'm asking is, so then that changed the difference on the clientele, because you said it went from a more mature
Sure it
audience.
did, because the more of us that started going there, it started change. It changed it. It made it. That's where we would go, and so that's how it all flourished, because everybody knew everybody, and it became the place to go. And it always they would always have a good DJ. That would be the reason.
And bartender.
And right,
Yeah,
bartender.
good
And
bartenders.
we were comfortable
I did
being
it for
black
one
and by
summer.
ourselves.
And across the street, you would go from the zebra lounge to the
To the
kitchen.
picture post.
And
Right.
up the street to Maurice Goes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
The older people would be at the bar. and-
It was different though. When we first came out to the Onyx Room, it was somebody mentoring us and everything. That's the whole key here.
Right.
By the time we came to the Zebra Lounge, we were well trained. We were seasoned. We knew exactly what to do.
And I think the music also
Well, the music was
helped y'all become more out and free, because the music was out there
It was,
like that.
it was wonderful.
Music was
The
bouncing.
music.
Oh, the honey was.
And you couldn't do nothing but
Beat.
be free. You go in that club and hear the music, you gonna dance.
That's
I have
You
to
gonna
see
be
young
free.
pictures of everybody, because I just remember, I only remember two people. I remember Richie. Larry looked familiar. Looked familiar in the back.
Linnell.
Linnel. But this one right here is
Cleon.
very
Cleon.
familiar. Yeah, these two right here are very familiar, but you look very familiar.
Now, Cleon was the first person I was warned about. At the
Why is
Onyx
that?
Room.
Why is that?
Well, actually,
I said going away to school. They came by and they
They
said,
warned me
"Look
about
out
this."
for the orange Volkswagen."
Okay.
Okay.
So now what was it
He
about
said that
Cleon?
being conservative.
What was it
That's
about
why you
Cleon?
remember him. Cause this dude here.
These two real familiar.
I don't find that
Richie
funny.
was
I
fast.
ain't laughing.
Richie was the fast one, baby.
Bitch, I ain't laughing.
Richie
So
was
this is
hot,
it.
hot, baby.
so we did, because we were talking everybody, because we knew each other, so it wasn't like nothing was a secret.
Right.
And so you would,
True.
And
You
see,
know,
one
like,
of
we
the
talk
things,
regularly
what Larry is talking
Right.
about, I had my own place back
sure
in
did.
I had my own place back in the day.
Right.
Infamous, honey.
Yeah.
I bet. So,
One of my mentors was teaching me bad habits. That was Bruce Moore.
Yeah, but you know what? Hold
Who
on.
was that?
Bruce
But you
Moore.
read the man,
Who's
Linnell.
more?
Bruce
I have to say this.
Oh,
But hold
oh
on.
yeah, Bruce.
Let
Did
me
they have a
explain it.
nickname?
Did Bruce? What is?
He moved to California.
He did.
He's no longer with us.
Okay.
But he used to hang around with that boy. He used to live around the corner from me. What was that boy? The big boy used to be with Tyrone Richard. He lived around the corner from me.
Barclay?
Not Barclay. He
Barclay.
lived on the corner of Noel Court and Parkway. He put dark skinned guy who had a yellow Volkswagen. What was his name? Cleophas?
He said
Oh,
light
Yeah, the Volkswagen. Yeah.
Yeah, the yellow
I had to
Volkswagen.
drive
I had a
Volkswagen
Volkswagen
one
too,
time.
but I don't need nobody with no
He was
yellow.
real
Anyways,
clean.
I know who you're talking about. I can't.
Because I
remember.
saw y'all over there one day, because you guys live
Yeah.
around the corner from there. And see, it was a treat for me to see homosexuals, because I didn't know I was going to be one. But they used to always intrigue.
Okay.
So, this is really.
Let me put my glasses on so I can see this guy. Let me see this. Let me see. You didn't know you were gonna be one.
I didn't know.
You should have asked me. You should have asked me.
You could have asked anybody.
Lightning. Watch out for that lightning. Move for that lightning.
That's right.
I was just being me.
This is what Linnel always would see. See, Linnel, that whole thing about being dressed and whatever, that was the whole purpose of whatever. Because there would be, when we were getting ready to go out, we would be at each other's house.
Right.
That's right.
We got dressed together. We did that whole thing. By the time we
And
came
to pluck one of you, he had to fight the other three.
Yes.
Had to fight the other three to get one of them.
Yes.
Get one of them.
I guess you would know.
Yeah.
But you know, but
I
that,
used to try to get Boy Clay. I couldn't get Boy Clay because them other two wouldn't let me get it.
well, I mean,
Huh?
Well, Clay was a fine young man.
That's right. But I got him in the
I didn't
house.
think so.
Did you?
That's right. That's why I
He
let
was
him in
cute,
the
but he
house.
wasn't
He
man enough.
wasn't, right.
He wasn't man enough.
But he was cute enough.
He was
He
cute.
was cute, that's all.
And he looked good in them bell bottom pants.
He did.
Yes, he did.
so now let me ask. So I think another way that I remember a lesson that I got, survival skill. Because back in those days, it was very dangerous for us. It was a lot of people that we knew people were getting killed left
Like
and
Roy
right.
Vales.
Roy Vales, Craig. I can't remember when they found him just burned in his bed.
Yeah.
You know, Russell
That
Wright.
was a friend of mine from
Mark
high school.
Taper,
Got found with Mark Taper.
Yeah.
So now,
The guy that killed him, Mark Taper, the guy that
That
killed
was
him.
the guy. Yeah. Oh, take that off. Take that off.
no, it's all good.
Oh,
You
Yeah,
said
but my friend,
I slept with somebody.
and he had Mark Taper's car.
Wait a minute.
He was riding around in his car.
He sure
I'm trying to
was.
see more tape. I can't picture it.
He's the guy that Ross said,
Yep.
I don't want that
He's
in
the
there.
guy that Ross said,
Oh, okay, yeah, I remember.
You
Yeah,
remember
yeah,
him.
yeah.
Well,
yeah,
Red Bull.
Yeah, Red Bull. Yeah, I only went there twice.
You see, they found the murderer found in Ronald's car.
The guy
with a
who
friend of mine.
killed, he was going around with everybody. I went out with him twice myself.
Word.
Yeah, but he pursued me because even Mark was mad at me. He was mad at a bunch of us because he would see that guy would come up to us. We wouldn't be paying him any attention. He followed me more
And
than once.
you know, both of them went to high school.
Yes.
So there was a lot of people there was a lot of guys that was sleeping around, but they
Well-
also had murdered some people. That,
But
We
see,
didn't know until he
we
I
didn't know
understand
until
that.
after that. But
well, I
see-
understand, but they were doing these
But see,
things
my
to
friend
people.
Ronald, who
I was
friends
always
with Mark,
shocked.
he was totally in the closet. Because when they
Well, so
found
was
his
I, but I
car,
still found
they
him.
found women's
I
clothes
didn't.
in the trunk of his car, and they didn't understand what had happened. But I always kept my mouth shut.
Because I remember when Roy was bludgeoned to death.
In Roy's case, it had to be more than one. Because Roy
Was strong, was a fighter.
No, they was coming
They had
after
him.
us.
Roy could handle himself. So
Right.
either they got him by surprise, or it was more than one. And I think it was more than one because he was bludgeoned.
But Craig, what was more dangerous for them back then? The black gays were attracted to men who had been in prison.
Still.
So you kind of like,
Yeah.
Like Mark got
depending
stabbed
on
up
how
outside
you
the
have
club.
been mentored,
Him
Coming out.
you already knew
Yeah,
who to
him
do,
and
what
him
to
and,
do, and how far to let
the other
something
guy
go.
was a school teacher. They
You
both-
kept control over it. So
they
you
both-
never let
he-
yourself be in
He was
that
hurt
kind of situation.
severely, but he recovered.
Who was that? Earl Bridget died?
Ike Martin and,
Ike Martin.
That's who lived around the corner from
Right,
me.
it was
Ike Martin.
So,
that's
who it
Yeah.
he was coming out of Red Bull when he got killed.
He got killed, him and
But
this.
see, that was the first group of gays that I see that I was saw that lived near me outside of Kim, who was going through the Christian to be with Miss Cherie and Lynn. They went through the sex change.
Okay, what about Thurston?
Thurston.
Thurston
Nah, I
was
ain't
just,
talking about
Thurston
Thurston.
was out.
she was just a
About
pitiful
Thurston.
soul.
Now, see,
What
that was
happened
another
first?
play, that was another thing. I don't know what happened to Thurston. after he got locked up. You know, he got locked up at that, huh?
You tell me.
Yeah.
He did, he got locked
He
up.
got locked up, he was in drag, and they showed his picture
They sure
in
did.
drag and out of drag.
Yeah, it wasn't a pretty sight.
The world. The world.
No, I'm just saying, and it was demeaning. It was
It
the
was a
whole
newspaper,
thing.
the world.
And actually, it was demeaning to
And
all of
ours.
us because we
And see,
knew this
Thurston
very
and
thing
Nellie Ward
happened
and
too.
we taught at Martin Luther King High School.
Mm-hmm.
And I would take off because I didn't want to be caught with Thurston.
Yeah.
Right, he was wild.
But Thurston was wild and he could go through them. And he said, pick up mother's books, little boy. And I would be standing there and one day I remember coming down the hall and I dropped my books and Thurston was over me. He says, hi, Daddy. And that was back in the day. That was back in the day. You didn't want to
Yeah,
get
but they
caught.
would come out for us. They'd look for us.
When you say that, what do you mean?
I think the gay bashing was a thing back
Oh,
then.
yeah.
And lots of guys
Oh,
were
yeah.
out looking for gay guys too.
Oh, yeah.
And then that was one of that was
Especially if you put yourself in a vulnerable
Right.
situation.
Not all the time.
No, pretty much.
Oh, I-
You kind of pretty much.
I was leaving Miss Edie's party, one of Miss Edie's party,
Okay.
in my neighborhood. And I got jumped by 3 guys.
Because they
Because I decided to walk home
Mhm.
from the party.
And they
But
knew
see,
about Miss
Did I
where
put
Miss
myself
Eden.
in
Well, did you ever go to any Miss Edie's parties? How they
But wait a minute.
ruthless
But
trade
you-
you hanging out
but you
all
knew
around
the
the
neighborhood.
house.
You knew the
I knew they
neighborhood.
were, I was from the neighborhood.
Then they were waiting for you.
Yeah.
They're waiting for any gay person.
Right.
And what neighborhood was this?
And right off
North
West
City,
Florida.
West Florida.
But that was
I
pretty
lived
much
in Houston.
citywide though, wasn't it? What
But-
you were saying, it was kind of, did it matter what
Yeah.
neighborhood it was?
No, I didn't.
No, because like even in
You could be
city,
in the park and the whites
Kim
would
got rocks and sticks thrown at him because everybody knew he was gay.
Kim.
His last name was Franklin. He goes by Kim now. Kim Watson.
He wasn't that little cute boy named Kim.
Kim
Martin.
Watson or Kim Weston?
Martin.
Yeah, Kim Martin.
No.
Say it again.
Not
Kim Weston.
Right.
Weston.
Yeah.
Where does
Now,
she live?
I don't know what she.
Let's
what
not
she
talk
is.
about that on camera.
Oh, okay. Well, anyway, that's an in-law of mine.
Okay.
I've been knowing ever since I was in junior high school. And like I said, seeing him transition, it was people for him to make courage for people like me to come along. Because I saw what he went through and I said, I didn't want that to happen to me. So, I did stuff behind closed doors in my mother's basement. Nobody would know about, that kind of stuff.
So, but because
He
of the
stayed up on the
bashing,
roof.
because of the
Yeah.
bashing, the gay bashing,
That's
you
why
felt
I
like
was
you
trying
could
to
not be
get you.
yourself
Hell
back in
yeah.
those days because
But
it was
this
so
is
much
a
more
different-
dangerous.
See, this is why Linnel couldn't believe Bruce and how Bruce acted.
Right.
For us, it was just who we were. So we didn't have to really pretend.
Yes. This-
Right. There was no pretending. It was who we were. We already knew to look cute.
Well, that's true. Gay men did. Gay men stand. We did
Well,
stand
I
out
can't see myself
because
as
of our
a
dress
gay.
and our attire. I mean, just our demeanor, everything. You didn't have to be
I always
filmed
stuck out like a
to be
sore
that. But you just.
You stood
We
out.
were. Yes, you stood out because we just looked together. That's my point of view.
Even when we was
But-
in the club, especially when we would be in Herbies, we had to be dressed to the
Right.
nines.
That's right.
It had to be a whole corner of us dressed to the nines.
But then that was a white bar. So again, you had to look
But
a
it
certain
was
way
us-
and to prove
it was
yourself
us
to be in a white
represent-
place.
It was us representing in that white
Right.
place.
They were dressed
That's
to
right.
the hill.
Club around the corner that blew up.
I forget the name. You talking about the one that was on the same side of the chase?
Yeah. I don't
Yeah, it was
remember
right
it
across the
either,
street. I
right.
can't remember the name of it.
Brandy's.
What was right?
It was
Could've
great.
been.
Brandy's. Like I say, I was young, but
And at that time, they decided they didn't want us in the Central West End anymore.
Yeah.
We had like 3 bars in the Central
Yeah.
West End.
What was that?
Well, it was because they,
What was it? What was the one?
The loading zone.
the loading zone.
That was down further.
But
No,
what really,
Yeah, Herbie.
What really-
That was Herbie's. No.
The potpourri, I remember the potpourri had the glass
They
there.
did.
Yeah.
And what's
I mean,
the
the
one that
light
had
up.
the basement and it was down at
Potpourri.
down at the far end,
The potpourri.
the potpourri. And then this other one, which is
you talking about Brian's?
Where are you gonna go that far?
Tom,
Go back
that
to
was
Martin.
Tom's.
No,
Tom's
that's
Bar and Grill.
And
You
then-
remember
Next door
Martin?
was the-
Over there by the train
yeah,
station?
video bar.
I never did go in Martin.
And
Because it was
bathhouses
a-
below it.
And they had a bathhouse in the morning.
Yeah.
A club and a bathhouse.
Now Martin's was fun.
Now, with Martin's was
It was
kind
too
of
white.
predominantly
It was
like
too
a white bar,
Yeah.
so they weren't really trying to press,
And they-
advocate too much for black people.
They
to
didn't-
want
You
to-
know what? It wasn't no black and white issues in gay bars.
Yes, it was.
Yes, it
Well,
was.
You
Oh,
fooling
and I didn't
yourself.
know this stuff.
You
I'm
fooling
sorry.
yourself, huh?
Right there, you fooling yourself.
Yeah, it was.
I'm
All of
sorry,
them. It was
girl.
like this.
They didn't
I
want us,
never noticed.
they didn't want us there.
They
They didn't
really
want to
did
run
because
that.
it happened almost every club that we started turning it out. So like it was just like when they didn't really want us in the Central West End. It's because we made up the majority of who was going in. We were spending more money there.
That's right.
We turned that neighborhood out. We really did. And so then that's why they didn't want it, because it became our territory and not theirs.
All right,
That's how
baby.
that did. And any place that we
It was a gay area.
infiltrated and did the
It was a
same
gay area.
thing, in time, they did the same thing. They would even change the music. They changed the music in
Yes.
places.
Yes,
Come
they
on.
are. Hey,
Because we are taking it over.
It's time for us to go. They
It's
changed the
time for us to
music.
go.
Right.
I have been in places like that when they see too many blacks, and all of a sudden they'll change the
Change the music.
We're like,
to something country or rock
Yeah.
or something all together, and they know that it's going. I have witnessed, been a part of that myself, and even to this day. But now I want to go back also to, I think, our perseverance, and I want to know what your take on this. Back in the days when how we survived all of those things, because I remember we used to have pull stunts, and I remember Frank told me a trick about how to trust a piece of trade when they came to your house. So put a dollar bill by the toilet and just fold it up, and let when a trade go to the bathroom, have it there sitting next to the toilet,
See
and
that?
if the tray goes to the bathroom, come out, you go it back in, go in there, if it's still there.
You make the trade take off his clothes at the front door. That's
Where?
what you do. You make the trade
That's what
undress.
this man did.
You make the trade
Who?
undress at
Who?
the front door.
I did it too.
You make him take off
Did
his
you?
clothes at the front door.
Yes, I
then you
did.
ain't got to worry about that.
You ain't got to worry about putting no dollar on the door.
I can't tell y'all.
But then also I remember also like other stuff how we would use the telephone. Because remember back in the days you can call a telephone and a number and it would dial you back.
Yeah.
And you can, because I know that's what I used to do. I would call, Trey go to the bathroom or somewhere. I would even send him to the bathroom and to take a shower or bath or something, and then I would wait till he get out and I have the phone ring. So when the phone would ring, I would answer the phone and start talking like I'm talking to one of my girlfriends. Child, I got such and such and such over here. Daddy, talk to the phone.
Gotcha.
Say something, Oh, child, you should
Right.
see him too. What's your name, Daddy? And girl, he's cute as he could be. Oh, but look, I would describe him and then let them know or let them feel like somebody is there. Somebody knows who this person is, that this person is with me.
No, you call your
So-
best friend
I
and tell him who you
like that,
got.
though.
You call your
So
best
I-
friend and tell him who you got. Give him even the
So
social
that's
You
really
security.
network.
what it was. See,
You
we
give them the
mostly,
social security.
when we were really coming in and that whole thing, we mostly kind of did it with somebody. We were real careful of being just by ourselves with somebody.
Right.
Somebody else
Somebody
knew
knew.
exactly. And
That's
somebody might have been in the room
That's
next
true.
door.
Right. True.
Now, see, we're just trying
that
to
is
avoid
true.
a story.
I know, but that was a survival skills because we had to do this in order
But it
to.
wasn't so much a survival skill. This motherfucker challenged us. Come on, baby, prove it.
In what ways?
He couldn't.
Oh, okay.
I just leave it like that.
You sound like you talking about somebody specific.
So wait a minute.
But we'll talk about that
I
on
know
your
kind of what
story.
Linnel was saying, but I have to give kudos. So really, it was Ike Martin who brought me up. Ike taught me everything. He told me which guys to look out for, which ones to kind of look out for. If that's what you want, told me exactly how to do it, what I needed to have in my bag,
I'm scared of you.
That's right, you better be. You better be.
and not to ever be alone without somebody knowing.
Right.
That's right.
Okay.
You never.
What was in your bag?
You always let somebody know.
Depending on what I was gonna do.
You think?
I always carried the bag.
Always.
Always carried the
Yes,
bag.
honey.
My niece said, she said, Uncle Richard had bags long before they had man's bags.
Okay.
Right.
True.
We used to make them out of blue jeans. Blue jean bags.
Yeah.
So outside of the
Can I give a
boiler.
story right
Oh
quick?
yes, come on, talk about it.
Blue jean bags. I shouldn't say it. But at the Honest Room, back in the Honest Room, back in the day, the way the Honest Room was made, you walk in, there's a curved board that goes down to the bathroom, dance floor off to the left. And in that little area where the bathroom is, you used to keep a stack of beers, cases of beers.
Out open.
Out right there. We was having a party one day, so we decided we gonna take our blue jean bags and go down there and steal us some beer.
Lord Jesus.
Me and Steve, remember
I
Steve
still
Simmons?
remember Steve.
Yeah, so that's what we did. So out of the Honest Room. So this is one of my stories from the Honest Room.
Hey, it is what it is. People did their thing.
The
Bathroom.
You were
bag,
good
we
friends.
stack the beers up
Were you
there.
good friends with Sylvester? They used to call him Sly.
Oh, I remember Steve.
Oh, he was the best looking man in the city, honey. That's where everybody wanted to be.
Well, you didn't wear glasses back then, did you?
Well, honey, he was
Talking about
too
Sly.
pretty. He was too pretty for me, honey.
You was he?
He was too girly for me.
Yeah, girly.
Well, that's what I
I
meant.
know Sebastian.
He was too girly for me.